So tonight we're going to watch a video. I see we're in a certain era here with Paul. We're going to watch a video where supposedly this was recommended to me. Supposedly Paul is pretty critical of Kyle Kulinski. I'm a pretty big Kyle stan, and I don't think that DFF specifically really has any grounds to criticize Kyle. I'm not sure exactly what they criticize him for here. So it's going to be interesting to see. In my opinion, though, Kyle is like the GOAT, our best leftist, our best lib. So let's get into it and see what Paul could possibly have to say about our precious Kyle. So has there been an ongoing thing with Paul hating Kyle? I feel like I've followed Paul like pretty closely over the last 6 months, and I don't remember him having like an anti-Kyle arc, but I haven't watched the show either. So
I know that out of nowhere, someone like brought up something about Kyle is becoming more of a conspiracy theorist now more than ever, and then Paul was like, "Yeah, who knows?" And he kind of like brushed past it. Stuff. He said he doesn't watch Kyle. He doesn't pay attention to Kyle.
Oh, that's different than what he told me.
This was like the other day.
Oh, okay. No, that was
no.
months ago when I talked to him about it. He was in agreement that Kyle was pretty cool. And I was like, yeah, Kyle's the greatest. That, you know, he's just such a great YouTuber. And he was like, yeah, he's even cooler off camera too. Talking to him off stream, he's a really cool guy. Like, shit. So I guess that opinion has changed then. So is he like doing to Kyle what he did to Vosh here?
To a lesser extent.
Knew it, TJ.
Okay.
Off screen you couldn't see this, but TJ, they automatically pulled that one up.
This is just on the Onion Nuggets channel, so it's totally fine. Also, it's only 20 minutes long, so it's a gift for me.
He's like, yeah, Kyle Kulinski video.
Well, it was just the next one after I closed the book.
Nah, TJ, you f***ing knew.
Yeah.
Dude, oh shit.
But that doesn't mean that we still can't watch it on time and a half.
I've smelled a rat on this wheel idea ever since its first implementation. I felt like TJ's had his thumb on this wheel.
Well, you know what's funny, Paul? I sent TJ another wheel before. I'm like, we can do it on this wheel. And TJ changed the wheels, man.
It's like, no, I found a wheel that actually allows you to put your thumb on the scale. So we use this wheel. When you admit that everything you do is to undermine Scotty and I? When are you going to finally admit it?
Oh, my God.
Silence. Silence, Paul.
Dude, to the person who's cutting up these segments and doing the Onion Nuggets videos, right? Cut this part out of it. Like, just started at cut out that little banter in between. Edit out that part. You can edit out portions of it, right?
You said on a recent show that you were getting some Kyle Kulinski derangement syndrome, so I wanted to explore that a little bit.
Yeah, I am starting to feel like Kyle needs to shut the fuck up.
So I saw
Interesting.
this video, and I'm like, man, he's already talking about 2028. That's bound to make Paul pissed. So let's see.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not.
Why? Wait, why would that make Paul pissed? Is he pissed because, like, it's when it's, like, October and you already see Christmas decorations? Or what? Which, like, why is he pissed? It's like you're talking about the election too soon, you son of a bitch. So that's why he hates it? Hold on.
They just hate politics. They're so done.
No, they all they talk about.
He's already talking about 2028. That's bound to make Paul pissed. So let's see.
Wait, before that though, why does he?
Time for 2028, Paul. Show that you were getting some Kyle Kulinski derangement syndrome. So I wanted to explore that a little bit.
Yeah.
So this is an ongoing thing. I've been outspoken about how based I think Kyle is. He's definitely wrong about things sometimes, for sure, but he like admits that and he talks about that. And with the election thing too, he was wrong in his prediction and he admitted he was wrong about it. And he was like, I'm just not going to make predictions anymore about elections because shit.
I mean, I am starting to feel like Kyle needs to shut the fuck up.
So I saw this video.
Because he didn't get a prediction right? Is that why? Wait, Kyle guessed who was going to win the election wrong? That's why he needs to shut the fuck up?
And I'm like,
you're wrong about things all the time and you don't ever shut the fuck up. You just double down. Kyle doesn't double down. He admits when he's wrong.
man,
Anyone with
He's already talking about
integrity admits in the wrong.
yeah, that's bound to make Paul pissed. So let's see.
Yeah.
Oh boy, here we go, y'all. Here we go. It's already starting. I don't know how it started already, but it already started.
You're part of it starting already.
Yeah, you were one of the first people I saw to float a 2028 candidate after the election, Kyle.
In fact, I think he's the only person I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's because that's a natural thing to do when you lose an election, right? Like, after you lose your election, you're going to be like, who should we run?
Yeah, you genuinely have been pushing for this Jon Stewart shit the day after the election. So here's how it got started, Kyle.
He's mad because he's pushing for Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart is what Paul should want. Why does Paul not like Jon Stewart?
Because he sees him as like somebody, the Democrat Party at large.
He's not. Jon Stewart is not part of the Democratic establishment at all.
No, but he says he's not like left enough and therefore not worth listening to.
So I'm not going to pull the videos because I don't want to spend like hours editing this, but I'll link articles. I'll link the videos. So Jon Stewart has done a ton of amazing fucking activism, and he has been incredibly effective at making the lives of people like veterans and the 9/11 first responders materially better, saving lives. So there are speeches of Jon Stewart in Congress very powerfully using his soapbox to get good progressive things done, to make a real actual change in the lives of people. Jon Stewart's not a politician. He's just a celebrity who uses his celebrity for the good, and he's informed on things. He's, Jon Stewart is our ideal candidate who we would want to win.
And maybe a couple other
using your celebrity for good. Imagine that.
people decided to start it. And you're going to keep starting it. Like, you didn't have to cover this. Ain't nobody got a gun to your head because some dumb bitch tweeted 8 people she thinks might run for president. Like, you are deciding to do this. You are deciding to milk.
Why is he so mad about it?
Electoral cycle until there's nothing but powder coming out of the nipple, right?
Just everyone make note like how fucking sexually repressed Paul is in everything we watch. Holy shit.
We now have our official first polls for 2028.
Oh my god, bro.
Polls are meaningless because there's no...
The fact that Harris is at the top of this is fucking hilarious. I hate to tell you, this is just cope. This is a cope poll. This goes to show you that polls are, especially this far out, pointless to do.
They are.
These 37% of people want Kamala Harris to step up and lose again. That's just like, she should have won. That's why you don't poll people around this time.
I agree with
four
Paul.
years in the future, bro.
And there's way too much that can happen in the country and the world politically. I mean, like,
I don't agree that it necessarily doesn't make sense to do polling, but I agree that the people who want Kamala to run again are delusional to like just such an absurd extent.
In 2020, you make a prediction like, okay, well, Trump won, who's going to be next?
Newsom, I think, would be a good candidate, maybe. Buttigieg, I don't know. I don't think, honestly, like, as a gay person saying this, I don't think that America is going to elect a gay president, at least not in 2028. I think it would be really irresponsible for us to make that gamble, right? And then the country just can't afford that right now. Gretchen Whitmer, I like her. Maybe she can do it. But again, I don't think that, like, the country's going to vote for a woman. They're not. I'm not saying that America is super sexist. I'm saying that there are enough misogynists in America to keep that from happening. And Josh Shapiro, I don't really know. I mean, we have better. Why isn't Walz on this here? Like, Walz for sure should run, I think, or at least be in contention more than any of the people on this list. And Bernie is too old. It's finally time for us to accept. And I was a huge Bernie bro. I voted for Bernie every fucking chance that I could since 2016, but it's not going to happen. He's 83 now? So he would be 4 years from now, he would be 87. He would be president in his 90s. He would be 91 at the end of his first term. Like, unless he's like a cyborg or something, like there's some technology we don't know about, I don't think that's realistic. I'm sorry, guys. I don't. I think right now what Bernie's doing is he's making a tremendous sacrifice for his country by traveling right now and running around in his probably like his last decade of life, like giving that for his country to try to fight what's happening. I have so much respect for Bernie Sanders. I really do. And he's the greatest politician of my lifetime. Absolutely. But I don't think it's going to happen in 2028. I really don't. If for somehow we're able to make it happen, I don't think so. I want Stewart to run. Newsom, I think, would be fine. Whitmer would be fine. I want Walz to run. Those are the one, like, Stewart would obviously be my main choice. And Sean Fain, whoever runs, Sean Fain should be the vice president. I think that there will be a general strike in 2028, or at least there should be a general strike in 2028. I do hope to see some massive labor activism, and I think that a general strike could be the wave that brings a Stewart Fain ticket into the White House. Maybe we should try to orchestrate that. I speak to now the few of us, my Illuminati brothers who are listening in secret.
But like, no one has any idea.
To those federal agents who are, who are in the Discord server with us.
Yeah, the COVID's going.
Can we help us out, man? I'm not anti-Fed. We need each other right now.
And every last one of these names, except for Gavin Newsom, is a loser, by the way. I'm just letting you know right now. Bernie Sanders is not running again.
Why is Whitmer a loser and not Gavin Newsom?
Obama is not running.
No.
Josh Shapiro is a loser. Gretchen
Why is he a lose?
Whitmer is a lose. Pete Buttigieg is a lose, and Kamala Harris is an obvious proven lose. Really, if you wanted to talk about this, why don't you talk about who are the Democrats going to put up to beat the ascendant candidacy of Gavin Newsom?
Why is he such a Gavin Newsom stan?
I have no fucking idea.
He like Gavin Newsom. Like I like Gavin Newsom, but he's not like he's a corporate Democrat, right? Like there are a lot of things I don't like about Gavin Newsom. You know, to me, he's kind of like a Biden or an Obama or a Clinton, but he's a little more principled, I would say. At least he very strongly believes in liberal rights. I feel he's not an authoritarian, at least when it comes to cracking down on people's individual choices and behaviors. You know, here in California, when I was a kid, before I could even vote, I remember Gavin Newsom at a podium saying that when he was the mayor of San Francisco, that San Francisco is going to be the first city in California to grant marriage equality to all its citizens, and that whether, you know, the fascists, the Christians, whether those people like it or not, we're going to give people their equal rights. And that has always been something that stood out to me when I think of Gavin Newsom. You know, I remember those moments. Maybe I'll link that video. So that's one of the reasons I like him. He's definitely not, he's not Walz, right? Like I would put him a step down from Walz. He hasn't wielded his power as well as he has. But he's still, like, as far as Democrats go, he's pretty high up there. But I don't know. It's not like he's more liberal than Harris. Harris had, like, the most liberal voting record in the Senate. As far as like, the things Paul should care about.
More and more, like, they've been prepping Gavin Newsom for a run. And the rest of these losers...
Paul also thinks that Gavin Newsom, like, destroyed homelessness in California, which is absurd and not true. But he goes on a rant about how like Gavin Newsom got rid of all the homeless people, which isn't true. I live near LA. There are still homeless people. 2024 was a record year for homelessness. It rose nationally by like almost 20% or something. And, you know, most homeless people are in California or find their way to California.
Your ass names shouldn't be on the list, bro. Race.
I mean, these people must have fired that machine up literally the day after the election to ask people.
The same machine you fired up starting to pimp candidates. Oh my God. This is the problem. Where's the self-awareness from this dude that was so confidently?
What do you mean? Like, what has Kyle even done? All he's doing is covering a poll. I think he agrees with you too. Like he's being critical of the poll that he's covering.
Wrong in covering this shit.
So,
and covering what?
This is a bit of a silly, giggly kind of segment here because who cares what the polls are showing this far out? I mean,
Paul cares. Paul really fucking cares.
To change massively, right. But nonetheless, I still want to talk about it. So, is an Emerson poll?
No.
Why?
So I agree with Calvin to the point where it's like we still got. It's like, oh man, this is basically just like this is con.
What do you mean you did? All he said is he wants to talk about it. He likes going over polls and data and shit. There's no reason why this should be. It's not like he made a philosophical position that you disagree with, or he made an argument or something, right?
It's a poll. It's a Twitter poll. It's a tweet.
Yeah.
He's going over a tweet.
Yeah, he's looking at an Emerson poll.
That is made purely for just for viewership.
Oh, this is part of the problem.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like, this is for viewership. This is what he does.
Part of the problem is that people are so fatigued by this because people like you keep going like, oh no, it's
then why would we watch it? You have to choose to watch Kyle's channel, right? Like, why would a fatigued person go on to Kyle's channel and follow Kyle on social media if they wanted to check out? Well, a lot of us are still engaged, and a lot of us are thinking about who we're going to run in 2028, but in 2026, really, you know, and I want everybody who watches these videos, have that in mind. Have in mind, be looking out for candidates that you want to support in 2026, start spreading awareness. So we should all be advocating for things. We should have a united mind on the issues we want to solve going forward. But yeah, I mean, we should be thinking about this. This is something that we need to think about. These next 4 years are going to be the struggle of our generation. It's our responsibility to resist the coup of this country by the fascists and by the oligarchy. And this is our moment, and we need to all have our heads in the game right now.
Do you have a comment saying the candidates that you would like to see?
For sure, like in the comments or whatever, hit me up. Let me know candidates that I should be looking at. If there's candidates that you would like us to cover or that we should try to bring attention to, you can let us know.
Do it anyway because the number's probably going to be good. You know what I mean? Like, that's part of the problem. It's part of the reason why the Democratic Party is floundering so hard is because literally, I don't know if you guys feel this way. I feel like the last electoral cycle started in like 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and hasn't stopped. So maybe
Okay.
instead of covering this fantasy
Let me
bullshit,
ask you this.
Wait, hold on. Well, we are always in an election cycle, right? That is like
Yeah.
that part, like electoralism is a process that's constantly happening. It doesn't stop at the end of the election.
It does for
This
them.
is, oh my God, dude. This is why Paul has his view on electoralism. He doesn't see it as like a constant thing that you have to do. He sees it as like, I only have to pay attention for one day and then I'm going to vote in utopia.
You
Anything
not
short
vote.
of that is pointless because it's going to take too much effort to slowly move it over.
Who you got for 2032 though?
yeah, I mean, I know, you know what, TJ? I know it's ridiculous to even think about that because the people that are running in 2032 might not even be known now, but I want to talk about it. Let's do a deep dive in this real quick. Let's do a 10-minute ad target video for this.
Is Paul is accusing Kyle of doing what? He has like mid-roll ads. Like or not even mid-roll ads. He has like just the basic YouTube roll ads. He doesn't take sponsorships. He doesn't do he doesn't take like
Every
advertiser
video.
money.
He says that at the end of every video.
I know. What is Paul? Why is
Paul
he
doesn't
even?
know
Because he thinks
anything.
this is clickbait, bro. It's Kyle's
Yeah.
job to run a successful YouTube channel and to get as many
You know-
views as possible. The more
You know what
people,
videos he fucking pumps out like a
the
day?
more people that watch Kyle, the more people that click on this video. It's a good thing because maybe there's like, hey, this stupid poll, it's kind of a silly segment, it's just for fun, but people will click on it and then they'll get introduced to all the other base shit he says, right? That he probably says like a couple minutes into this video. You can't talk about what candidates might run in a few years or a few cycles. You don't have the knowledge to do that. You don't have the knowledge to do that in an interesting way, in an engaging way. And if you somehow found a way to do that, it would be the best content you deliberately did in years.
Yeah, why not?
Tomatinos, the time has come.
Oh, Kyle with his fucking
man.
ads everywhere.
Garden to grow, an alternative to Patreon.
I can't wait to use
look at
one
this.
of custom emojis to get banned for it.
So this is on the Democratic side.
Yeah. Whatever.
Number one by 30 points.
This is
30.
This is meaningless. She just ran, though. Of course, all right, what's a Democrat everyone knows the name of right now? Kamala Harris. There you go. Boom.
I'm pretty sure Kyle's takeaway from this, I don't remember the segment specifically, but I'm pretty sure his takeaway from this is going to be like, you people who want Harris are deluded. Because, I mean, he said that like a bunch of other times, right? Like, there's no reason Kamala should even be thinking about a re-election. She's like basically Hillary Clinton at this point. She just needs to go away. We need to fix this without her.
That's
why you got that answer.
Kamala Harris, 37%. Number two is Newsom at 7%.
Yeah,
And you have
on a national stage, it's probably the second most popular Democrat that people know of. No, then Buttigieg. It's almost like the awareness
What about Walls?
of most of these people, except Michelle Obama. Of course, everyone knows who she is, but she's not running.
Buttigieg.
Like, I just don't understand this piece of content. It's just, it doesn't make any sense to me because Kyle and basically the premise of it is like, what's meaningless? So why would I care? Why would I care for the next 8 minutes of this?
He said it's a silly segment. I already explained. Bro, you're a YouTuber. You know why people do this fucking God.
Piece or 9 minutes, whatever the fuck it is.
Are they?
You've already said it's irrelevant and will not be predictive of anything. So this is basically just jerking ourselves off. We can put any names on this list. As long as they would be qualified, it'd probably have as much integrity.
4%. Gretchen Whitmer at 3%. Shapiro at 3%. Michelle Obama at 2%. And Bernie clocked in at 2%. So I would love for people to include Jon Stewart in these polls because that's who I think would have the best chance of winning.
Yeah, and if we start including Jon Stewart in these polls, we put into the zeitgeist the idea of him running. We start to normalize the idea of Jon Stewart running, right?
Right.
We start to get people talking about
He would
that.
run the best campaign, would probably govern the best as well. But
No way. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the whole problem with this video because you're saying that they should include Jon Stewart, but Jon Stewart hasn't said he's running because even if you want that to happen, that would have to be announced like in the future. So in the future, when that's announced,
None of
nothing you
these
talk
people
about
have-
that.
No, yeah, none of them have announced. That's not why you do this. You do this before you announce to see what your popularity is like, right? We're kind of workshopping candidates with this poll is the point of it, right? And it's not too early to start doing that. You should start doing that as early as possible. We want the strongest candidate. We want to find the best person. And Jon Stewart should be in the discussion. So Kyle is right. We should start having these silly polls that generate conversation about looking in a couple years ahead. We should be doing that, and Jon Stewart should be included in that.
Announced a run in 2028 because that would be retarded to do. So talking about this, like you said in the intro, Kyle,
Right, because everyone announces in 2027, at the beginning of 2027, right? By June of 2027 or the summer of 2027 is when everyone announces when if they're going to run or not. By then, that's not what this is. You do this before you announce, right? And okay, and let's take Scotty's point too. Jon Stewart, it seems like he said he doesn't want to run or he won't run or isn't going to run. The appeal should be made to Jon Stewart, and it is a difficult thing to ask to do this for his country. Nobody chooses to be a leader, right? Leaders are chosen by the people who would follow them. And someone who is going to clamor for leadership or want power, who aspires in their own ambition to be president, probably shouldn't fucking be president. We should have the grudging person, the person of virtuous character, someone who speaks the truth, who we know is an honest actor, who has materially improved the lives of disadvantaged people that our evil government was trying to fuck over.
You might say that a great man doesn't seek to lead, but he's called to it.
Sure.
And he answers.
Yeah.
Is pointless and stupid. So, quit doing it.
Kamala at the top, 37%.
How about this? How about a 10-minute video on what I'm going to do next electoral cycle to not look like a horse's ass?
How did he look like a horse's ass? Because he was wrong about who was going to win?
How about that?
Takeaway is from this
Well,
poll,
Paul's
because
never wrong.
Here's the take.
Paul's wrong about facts,
No,
not
no,
even
no, no, no,
predictions.
no. If you never
Hey, you told me you were never going to forget Norway.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Things that I'm going to do this upcoming electoral
Checkmate, atheist.
cycle, so that at the end of it, I don't look like the back end of a rented mule. Let's see.
Yeah, bro.
Paul is so afraid of being
I'm not gonna
admitting it
shame
that he'll
Paul's
never-
appearance. I'm not gonna take the bait that he just plopped in front of everyone. I'm not gonna do
I
it.
just had a terrible purpose, like Flash. They're only addressing this silly little poll video because they don't have any arguments to address anything else he says.
So caught up in
Why? I don't understand. Kyle's not making an argument. He's not He's not. This is
He's not
so
even-
weird to be upset
He
about.
reports the news.
the jerk-off bubble that I release a silly video showing Kamala sweeping every state, okay? And saying, I think this could happen. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to start talking about the election 4 years out, speculating, get myself deeper into the bubble. You know what I mean? I'm going to
Why?
remember
Why not?
that we're
Isn't it
dealing
your
with a
job?
Democratic
Yeah.
Party here. The people that dismantled a movement that you yourself tried to create
What?
and
must
co-opted
be
every
talking
single
about brain
person that was a
rot for
member of
2
that
hours.
movement
What
into the
is he
party
talking
machine.
about?
I want to see a few
I have
10-minute
no
videos.
fucking idea.
Hold on, we gotta take that. I feel like that's actually he's trying to make a criticism here. We should take it seriously.
It's a silly video showing Kamala sweeping every state, okay? And saying, I think this could happen.
top 37%.
How about this? How about a
There's some
10-minute
reason-
video on what I'm going to do next electoral cycle to not look like a horse's ass? Here's the top 10 things that I'm going to do this upcoming electoral cycle, so that at the end of it, I don't look like the back end of a rented mule. Let's see.
Hey, Paul. I would like a video from you explaining the top 10 reasons why Anne Frank has good historical evidence for the diary being authentic. That's what I want from you. I would like a video from you saying, these are the 10 things I'm going to do to make sure that when I open my stupid fucking mouth, I'm not spreading misinformation or propaganda, or I'm not being a useful idiot for something terrible. I want you to make a video saying that before I self-righteously and smugly advocate for eugenics, I'm going to make sure I know what I'm talking about. Before I misrepresent eugenics laws in Sweden or the population of people with Down syndrome in Norway, I'm going to do some homework before I start just making proclamations about existence. Make a video like that. Tell us what you're going to do to be better. That would go a long way to doing nothing but making us all laugh at you.
Number one, I'm not going to get so caught up in the jerk-off bubble that I release a silly video showing Kamala sweeping every state, okay?
That's not the video. The video was that
not-
she would win every swing state. And I agree. It was way overzealous. I was not, for the record, and people who want to stalk me on Reddit can look it up. Around the time of the election, I did post my prediction on one of the subreddits. I think it was Okay Buddy. Yeah, I did think Kamala would win, but I thought it would be very slim. Yeah, and I did think that Kyle was a bit overzealous with his prediction. But so what? It's not like he did something terrible, like advocating not voting at all, right?
Right.
Hey, and saying, I think this could happen. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to start talking about the election 4 years out, speculating, get myself deeper into the bubble.
What, the bubble of what? The bubble of thinking your candidate could win? So he's claiming that Kyle is in a bubble because he thought Kamala would win all the swing states. So that makes him in a bubble. But also speculating on who's going to run in 4 years makes him in a bubble too. Is he mad that Kyle's interested in who's going to run? I don't get what bubble he thinks he's getting into here. Like election hype. You're going to be too excited for the election. You're going to be in a bubble.
I'm going to remember that we're dealing with a Democratic Party here.
Paul, you've created a bubble for yourself. Your whole world is a bubble that you've constructed. An echo chamber.
The people that dismantled the movement that you yourself tried to create and co-opted every single person that was
the Democratic Party.
That dismantled a movement that you yourself tried to create.
Oh, is he talking about Justice Democrats? Dude, we have Justice didn't AOC was a Justice Democrat. Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, all the good House Democrats, or a lot of them. Well, I don't actually know. You know what? I'm just gonna link in the comments. I will have a link of Justice Democrats who were elected through Justice Democrats, so you can all have that. That way I don't have to look it up or try to pretend like I remember.
And co-opted every single person that was a member of that.
See, Paul, I would like a video from you like that. Like you start saying what you think and then you have a moment of self-criticism and say, no, I'm pretty sure that's what happened, but I'm not entirely sure, you guys. I'm going to do my responsibility as a citizen of this country that desperately needs fact checkers, and I'm going to fact check myself. And I'm going to that's my responsibility to you, my viewers. So check the description for my source. That's what I want from you.
I want to see a few 10-minute videos from Kyle about that.
The Republicans
about how the Democrats dismantled Justice Democrats
had this hierarchy, and they had this thing where it's like, now it's your turn, you get to run for president, you get to be the one. I mean, that's really what happened with Bob Dole, for example. That's exactly what happened with John McCain after the Bush years. There was this sense of there's a hierarchy in this party, you have to earn your stripes, and then when you earn enough stripes, you kind of get to the top and you can throw your name in the ring. Clearly, at this moment in time, Democratic voters are very hierarchical in their thinking, and it's very lazy, right? It's like whatever the establishment of the Democratic Party feels.
They're not hierarchical in their thinking. They're stupid.
Mr. Irascible's name tag is placed in a very fortunate position for him.
It's like, okay, good enough. That's clearly how they're thinking.
They see a poll like this and they think it's a referendum on how they feel this last election should have gone. That's why you got that obscenely, retardedly high 37% number for a woman who underperformed every Democratic candidate in modern history.
That really is.
It rings hollow to me, bro. Because there's, like I said, this level of analysis is what led him to put up.
What level of analysis? Kyle's not doing analysis right now, really. He's not.
It's a silly video.
Literally the most obscenely absurd cope maps I've ever saw pre-election, and have to eat your words to the point where you just didn't even.
He ate his words. What do you mean? He was like, I admit it.
This man sure is angry because he didn't fucking vote,
dude.
That was a really strange decision. I don't really understand because I mean he's such a political wonk. You figure that would be the one time you'd want. If you absolutely have to be live at any point, why not then?
You know, I like Kyle, and I think he's a smart guy. I don't think he's wrong about every goddamn thing.
Yeah, I have no idea why Kyle wasn't live during the election. It is odd because he is usually live during the election, but who fucking knows why? What? I'm not going to assume. How does, bro? Paul, you're so fucking retarded. Oh my god, bro. Shit. Fuck.
Disingenuous.
No, this is what. This is how stupid he is, and doing this hurts now. It's like your broken fucking brain just doesn't understand the sequence that events happen in, okay? So he's saying that because Kyle was wrong about the election, that's why he wasn't live on election night. But you go live on election night before the election is concluded. Kyle wouldn't have known he was wrong about the election by the time he would have gone live for the election.
Right.
So it's not like Kamala lost and then Kyle decided not to go live, or Kamala was losing and then Kyle decided not to cancel whatever he was doing. He had already not gone live before the votes were counted. There was no plan for him to go live. He didn't announce he was going live anywhere. There's probably some other issue that we're not privy to or something. I don't know. But I don't think that it's because he telegraphed to his audience Kamala would win and then telepathically knew how wrong he was. I don't think that's why. I don't think he has superpowers to see the future. Unlike you, we can't all have that power, right?
But why are we not doing a deep dive here into how the did I get this so wrong? Why was I so blind spotted by this? And what can I do in the future to make sure I'm not
Kyle was just overly optimistic with Ann Selzer.
Everyone was.
leading my viewers down the primrose path? Because this kind of like 4 years out speculation on a fake list of non-candidates, that ain't cutting it, bro. That's not the type of like whimsical political musings I want to hear from a dude that was just 180 degrees wrong, bro.
Come on.
The thing that makes me so happy is that Kyle's channel is like blowing the fuck up. He is getting some much deserved recognition. Paul, you're dwindling. Your biggest value right now to the world is as a salt cow. And look at how salty you are here over fucking nothing.
Kamala's worst case scenario map, it still had her winning, was crazy. I know.
Yeah. The worst case scenario for Kamala is that she took it like 279 or some shit.
Yeah, it was close, but it was like, I just didn't afford the possibility of Donald Trump's victory, and that was just very strange because even if you looked at the
Because even when he
polls,
came on our show, he said like, "Oh, it's a coin flip." So I mean, it's like, what changed between that appearance?
Walls, right? Like shit changed.
What?
Like the whole campaign happened in between.
The media bubble. He got caught up in the Democrat hype machine, and he likes people to think he's immune to that. But this electoral cycle proved that he isn't immune to that.
So what? Even if that's true, even if he was caught up in the Democrat hype machine, and I don't know what Paul means by that. Does he mean the Democrat hype machine like you're so fucking hyped on just an echo chamber that you don't think you can lose? Or does he mean the Democrat hype train like you're so caught up in the echo chamber that you support a Democrat in the first place, right? What does he mean by that?
He got caught in a media bubble where people were telling, there's no way Trump is going to win. Kamala got this in the bag, baby. Meanwhile, news story after news story has come out about how the Harris campaign never once had her outpolling Trump.
Yep.
In the
all
history of her
internal polling was
campaign.
shit.
All of her internal polling shows she dropped.
Right, but we had polls that she was, right? Or that she was closing the gap.
Even the public polling, like when I looked at, like when we broke down the numbers, we're like, okay, let's look at Pennsylvania, let's look at Michigan, let's look at these other states, and we're like, she either had no lead, she was down, or she had a razor thin lead, and we're like, she's a Democrat, she needs to be leading by way more than this.
I'll tell you what happened, dude. It was TDS, Scotty. It was TDS. He got caught up in the democracy's over. There's no way the American people are going to elect Donald Trump again. Kamala's actually going to do some good things.
Right.
This is the only way that he got caught. It's the Donald Trump Trump derangement.
I would just like to say every single American should have Trump derangement syndrome. Donald Trump
Patriot.
is at war with you right now, and you need to treat that accordingly. You really do. You should be furious at Trump. You should be watching every fucking thing him and his fascist shadow president are doing. Right now, we need more Trump derangement. We really do.
Derangement syndrome, dude. It was
Well, I mean, that was the
that
mainstream
fucking-
Democrat position. That's all they offered America. Really, it was just like Trump is going to destroy the country. Easy.
And then look at how quickly that shit evaporated post-election, too. That's the shit that really gets me. Dude, the day before the election, the camps are going to open up. Democracy's about to end.
There are Guantanamo.
There
The day
are
after.
Project 2025 is now law. Yeah.
The world
Project 2025 is, I don't know if I would call it law, but it's being enacted.
will go on. And it's like, what was all that gaslighting about then?
God, fuck these guys. Oh, how about you? Wait, hold on. Hold on. I would like a video from Deep Fat Fried saying, you guys, we're wrong about Project 2025. Here's the 10 things we're going to do to make sure we're not caught with our pants down again. I was wrong about, that I said Trump would never repeal Biden's executive order that gave us the ability to negotiate drug prices. I was wrong about that. I was wrong about the Whiskey Rebellion also. What I'm going to do next time to make sure that I'm not wrong about the Whiskey Rebellion is Google Whiskey Rebellion before I talk about it again. Like, I don't know, man. I want that video. This is the ultimate fucking example of someone in a glass house throwing stones, bro.
You can't expect a podcast run by 3 stoner neckbeards who hide behind that stupid excuse to admit they're wrong about anything.
This is so this is ridiculous. The hypocrisy here. Like always, Paul, you're PAULjecting your own absurdity onto a canvas.
And you know what? Kyle was one of those people that was amplifying that kind of rhetoric pre-election. Democracy is over. Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. Donald Trump is going to
based.
rip up the Constitution. And now,
Bro, he did. He did.
He literally did. Wow.
He didn't literally rip it up, but you dumb motherfucker. In the Constitution, Article 1, it says that Congress has the power of the purse. Elon Musk does not have the power of the purse. So when Elon Musk goes into the Treasury, hacks into it, cuts a bunch of funding, that's the executive branch unconstitutionally violating the Article 1 of the Congress in the Constitution.
now that it's over, he's piddling around doing polls for 2028. It's like a crack
No, he's not doing the poll.
Addict that wants one last hit of crack before going into the rehab.
No, he's a crack. It's like if he's a crack addict and he just doesn't stop doing crack. There's no one last hit of crack. If politics are crack, then you're always on crack if you're involved in this.
It's literally his job.
Pretend like instead of crack, it's streaming, right? And it would be like, Paul just wants one last stream. It's like, well, no, Paul always streams, right? That's what he does.
Until now.
Done with it, dude. Clearly, you're way off base on what you think is going on. Maybe digging into that might be smart. What do you think?
The Republican voters sort of saying, we don't care what the Republican establishment
Because he got an election prediction wrong.
feeds us, because Trump is not the pick of Mitch McConnell. Trump is not the pick of, whatever, film of like John Boehner or Paul Ryan or George W. Bush or the previous establishment.
It's a choice because most people in politics want to be the choice themselves. It's how they maneuver within the political system.
Kyle lost credibility with me years ago when he pretended Anna's Me Too accusation against Jimmy Dore was anything but intimidation. Yeah, I don't know about that, but Kyle's right that Jimmy Dore... I thought Kyle remained neutral through that, and that's why they both hated him for a while.
I have no idea. I forgot.
Kyle is right, probably, in that if Kyle's opinion is that Jimmy Dore is a piece of shit grifter, he's right. I know Kyle now. It's not like he's defended Anna from criticism that she's rightfully gotten during her face turn. Maybe we should do a video about, like, we're just breaking down an Anna Kasparian segment where she does propaganda and, like, point by point out her moments of doing propaganda.
And as we've seen time and time again, power favors those who gain following. Donald Trump has the biggest following in the Republican Party. Of course, they replace Donald Trump in a second. They replace anybody.
Nikki, go draw a squirrel with tits and shut the
Paul pretending he knows what politics is based, Nikki.
up, bitch, please.
Do we know Nikki? Is Nikki a figure in the DFF lore?
I want to say they are.
Please, thank you.
Republican leaders.
When I need advice on how to draw
Yeah,
an
sure.
anthropomorphic rodent with big fat titty nipples, I'll come talk to you. On politics, though, why don't you shut the fuck up?
Your hierarchy,
Titty
your
nipples.
rules, and your order. We're going to pick whoever.
Paul,
Did he say
We
kitty
want, and this is
nipples
who
or
we-
titty nipples?
I think he said titty nipples.
Right. So there's been a little bit of an inversion of the parties in
Little Freudian slip, you think?
that sense, and there's also an inversion in the sense that
When did this video come out?
Party quit. Party quit.
I would never call Republicans the party.
So they actually think that there's a party switch going on, and that
Well, they must have, because they went from leftist to like.
so
Well,
they
they're
are they
Republicans.
conservative then? Are they Republican now?
I don't know.
Why are they
hide behind so
chanting
much
party
layers
switch?
of irony? Because
That's
they
so
want
weird.
the world to burn.
The working class, because their policies are
anarchists,
horrible for the working class.
not
But in
even
terms of
anarchists.
demographically, higher earners cut more Democratic this time. So that move of like, let's pick up voters in the suburbs for every working class person we lose in the rural areas. Well, you got what you wish for, but the results were a loss.
Wait. See, what a flawed strategy that is. Not like win as many people over, like, we can afford to lose some here, but gain some in other areas.
Well, it's just the strategy that
What a narrow way of thinking.
it's not only that, but it's the strategy that keeps the eternal American ping pong game going.
So I agree with Scotty, but that's not like their strategy, right? The reason they do that, it's actually more insidious, I think. It's because they have donors, right? They're agency captured. And so they have to do unpopular things in order to stay in power and get money. So it's deep corruption is the reason for it.
It never ends us with the president that's finally moving us in the right direction. It's the eternal American. Well, you win some, you lose some. Sometimes you glaze a candidate to the point where showing the worst case scenario map being pretty much a solid win. And sometimes
That's not him glazing the candidate.
you don't. You know what I mean? If that's all the insight you have as to why you were sucking hind tit this year,
Does Paul think that like what makes a political analyst or advocate have value is if they guess who's going to win the election correctly?
Yeah, because he makes predictions and then whatever. January 23rd is when this came out.
That was post kitty nipples, so he could have very well had kitty nipples on the brain.
why do I need to listen to you about 2028? Why do I need to listen to anybody about 2028 right
Maybe that's why he's so angry during this. He has some frustrations going on in the background.
now? Period is the question. The first question. And if I did, why would I go to the guy that was dead wrong last time?
Everyone was wrong. What the fuck?
Because he didn't guess. Because he wasn't. You don't have a perfect track record. Fuck you. Why would I go to you? Because Kyle admitted he was wrong. He had some humility about it. He said, maybe I shouldn't be making election predictions. I was wrong about this. Sorry, guys. He did the exact thing someone should do. He didn't even have to. He could have just been like, fuck, I was wrong. Whatever. Like, that's what I would do if I were him.
Kyle.
But like, he actually went and like was straight up and was like, look, guys, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. You're right. I have to eat humble pie now. But Paul interprets that as like, you must be punished.
Kyle is at least engaging in the political process, whereas Paul, as we know, does not, except smoke cigarettes on his porch and talk about Harry Potter books.
Do you want more of this?
I mean, if you want us, if you're serving, I'll keep raging.
So, I don't know, man. I don't know if this is going to stay the
Has Kyle even said anything really yet?
same. I will say this though.
No.
I'm now at the point where I don't know
This is so they're padding this shit
what the
out.
electorate wants, what they're going to end up doing. There was
At
a
least
time where I
admitting
thought
that.
pretty much.
Good job, Kyle. Maybe
Locked
deep
in.
dive on that. How did you
Yeah,
get this out of a? Maybe it was. You know what it was? Mary and Crystal, dude. Because that came with money, dude.
Wow, that was fucking low.
Dude, she had a bunch of money. Kyle immediately got platinum blonde, right? Stylish. Look at all them leather-bound books back there. That's insane. It smells like the Library of
are-
Alexandria in that room. Look at that.
Leather bound books.
So what? I feel like I have more books than that. Maybe
Some
not.
leather bound.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't see like the side wall is also bookshelves. That's pretty dope. I want a book chamber one day.
Maybe
And-
he's jealous of marrying Crystal Ball instead of like I'm a liquid snoot, you know, whatever.
Yeah. What's it like to not be the sole breadwinner?
Damn.
Yeah, Paul,
man.
you're such a piece of shit. This is such a low blow, dude. You married rich, so that made you deluded. That made you an idiot. You lost touch with working people once you married Crystal Ball. It's all her fault. You're an asshole.
How
And there's no good evidence for that. You're just choosing to cast those accusations. You're choosing to put those connections out there.
got too out of touch with average people's desires. He forgot what it was like to live paycheck to paycheck. And he had huge blinds.
Yeah, but you're in touch with average people's desires and needs, right? Right, Paul? You live a real, average working man life. You wake up, smoke 20 cigarettes, and drink coffee while you yell into the internet about how people aren't smart enough for you. And then you stream for 6 hours, and then you stream again and do the same thing. You have no idea, what the average person does. How often do you leave your fucking house? How, the things that affect average people don't affect you all the time, right? You're kind of in your bubble, buddy.
Spot on Americans using this electoral cycle as a referendum against paying double what they were paying at the fucking grocery store. That's what happened.
So
Yeah, that worked out.
what was to come? It's very
Right. And I mean, that's what Kyle thought, right? And that's why we thought Kamala would win, because the Democrats are better on those issues than the Republicans. Proven now by what's going on, but
possible that Kamala being at 37% right now is indicative of she will be the nominee in the same way that, Biden was up quite a bit for a long time in the early polls before 2020, and he ended up being the one. Obviously, they had to do some dirty tricks to screw Bernie over, but even with Hillary was leading by a lot going into 2016. They needed some dirty tricks, but she ended up being the one. But then there's other instances like Obama where it wasn't the case. He wasn't this person who was clear front runner, leading into 2008, but he ended up winning, right? And on the Republican side, with Trump, he kind of did start leading pretty early, and then he ended up hanging on and winning. So is this indicative of this is just what it's going to be, or is it indicative of the year that Rudy Giuliani on the Republican side was leading by double digits in every primary poll leading into?
I mean, this is just turning into word soup now.
Yeah.
Wow.
wow, Kyle actually says something substantive. So do these polls, are they more like this historical example or like this historical example? Oh, fucking, he's just saying nonsense now. I can't follow. There's too many words. Paul, you
Paul-
like words. You read it when you were
Isn't
6,
Paul-
goddammit.
Paul's media literate as fuck too, right?
You love words, Paul. You should
the
be
best
able to
words.
handle this.
I'm losing my ability to focus on this, honestly.
Yeah. It's bad.
It just seems
It's
like a
bad.
rambling mess at this point.
It's bad.
A rambling mess. Kyle Kulinski.
Did you watch your Project 2025 episode? Are you out of your mind? Paul's ego? Fucking, a random mess? Come on. What? This is a random mess. Kyle saying, hey guys, this 37% lead for Kamala. I don't know. Do you think it's going to be more like how Joe Biden was leading for a long time? Or do you think it's going to be more like how Obama was able to come out of nowhere and win? Oh, this is a rambling mess. Not like our fucking garbage content.
I would really.
This is a rambling
That's what
mess.
you're saying.
We're watching a rambling mess. And by the way, you don't focus on fucking anything. You never pay attention to what's going on. We haven't watched one video where you've been insightful and focused and on point. You're either fucking picking your face and not paying attention, or you're just reciting things that are dead fucking wrong, bro. Or you're completely misunderstanding why tariffs are bad. God damn.
And now I'm just like, well, Obama.
Yeah, well, it's because he's got to fill 10 minutes to make a clip that's going to do numbers.
This is 20 minutes.
this
is 20 minutes, and you've done almost nothing.
Yeah, I feel like this has always been the Kyle thing though. Like he always, the first 3 minutes of the video are what he actually has to say, and then it's like endless reiteration. I've always felt that way about his shit, but whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, fuck you, Paul. Go fuck yourself. Team Kyle all the way. I was going to pull back a little bit on Paul, but I think we need to go full force. I really do. We need to be Kyle's vengeance upon him for that. No, I'm just kidding. That was really dumb. Just projection for sure. Paul is wrong about things. Obviously, someone being wrong about an election is not like the end of the world. I'm going to post in the comments also Kyle's acknowledging that he was wrong about the election and what he has to say about that. And then you guys can all compare that to how Paul responds to people calling him on his bullshit and see which one of them is more trustworthy, more living in reality, more mature. You guys can make that decision for yourself. We all have ample experience watching Paul handle things like that. And you can see Kyle do it too. Thanks for watching, though. Have a good one, guys.